Monday morning, everyone. I did something really cool and it sucked at the same time this weekend. We went to the Foodie Land Festival, which was pegged at this really cool food fest. All these different like food trucks and the whole nine yards. Yeah, we just happened to go on a day that it was piss cold and raining like a son of a bitch. So here we are, freaking not prepared. I mean, there was chances of rain, but no. The skies opened up and said, "Fuck you, we're soaking the shit out of you." So, the food was good. I had freaking sushi pizza, which was the most insane thing in the world. They took the nori and they like deep fried it with a small batter, so I gave it a crust and just put the sushi right over the top. Oh, it's freaking amazing. But yeah, don't go to a food festival in the cold and rain. And why do people want to drink as adults out of baby bottles? There was lines for like ever of people drinking out of these big ass baby bottles. I'm like, I don't care how desperate I am for freaking a drink. I am not a grown ass man drinking out of a baby bottle.
What was inside the drink though?
All different fruit drinks and weird concoctions and
Was there
infusions.
alcohol?
No.
I don't understand.
No.
Apparently nobody does.
No, there was a lot of people that did, because I mean it was like a prize to walk around with the biggest baby bottle type. I don't get it. How was everybody else's weekends?
Dude, I drove like
not as much as
8
yours.
to 10. Yeah, I drove like 8 to 10 hours this weekend. I didn't get much of a weekend. I drove from Houston up to Dallas because I had an event I had to record for a client, and then picked up the dog while I was there, and then drove back yesterday. So I drove up on Saturday and then back on Sunday. And so
why'd you go back?
I just had the car. So I left the motorhome here because Jen had to work. And so I just drove the car up for an event for a client, drove right back, make a little bit of money, but drive a lot of hours.
Miserable drive.
Yeah, it was not great. Just 4 hours, like it's nothing.
You should did it in a car and not the RV.
That's
Save
true.
some gas.
That is true.
I mean, he would have just drug a freaking, leveling leg the entire way. I mean,
yep, that's my luck. Yeah. Anybody else?
We can talk about how time change sucks.
Oh God.
My kids are still asleep, so they'll probably come in here later interrupting and all that good stuff.
Well, I heard the debate why they haven't done away with it. It's a 50-50 issue. And the way it was explained was 50% of people want more daylight because they don't want to take their kids to school, in the dark. Yep. The other half want more nighttime because they want to do, more longer evening activities and such. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Just pick away. We will, evolve to whatever you do. Just pick and go. Don't give me this. It's a 50-50 issue. Make a damn decision and go with it. Because
I never sleep the first night, and I don't know why. There's no reason not to sleep. Even if I fell asleep an hour later than I'd like, I should still sleep. But for me, it's almost like I've traveled somewhere and I'm in some different time zone, and I just cannot
jet lag,
cannot sleep, cannot get comfortable, cannot get happy. And so that was my night last night.
Yeah, well, we ate dinner, an hour late because the microwave still said it was, 5:30. I'm like, I got an hour to cook. And then I look down at my phone and it says 6:30. I'm like, son of a bitch. Right. Do away with it altogether. Let's play a game, P.
Let's play a game. All right, we're going to play Wordle.
Oh, Lord.
We've played Wordle once before on here, but actually, Robert and I had a talk the other day. Robert has never played Wordle. He didn't even know what it was. So I hope he's refreshed himself on what Wordle is.
Yeah, I pulled out. I got dictionaries all over the place here. So that's going to help, right?
Yeah. All right. Somebody give me a 5-letter word to start with.
Great.
That was a good one, actually.
Good.
So we have 3 letters, but they're all in the wrong place?
Yep.
Correct.
Reach?
Yes. That's
great.
Reach.
Learn.
No, E. No. That can't be it.
Oh, the E's in the wrong spot. EA in the wrong spot. But we got an R.
Peyton.
How about crate? CRATE.
Nope. Nope, the R's in the wrong place.
C-R.
Oh,
A's in the wrong place.
Oh, that R is. I get you now. I see where you
Farts. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that.
A-R.
No, don't you dare. We keep getting 3 letters.
I know.
But they're not in the right spot. The R is in the right spot.
Mhm.
I feel like an S needs to be in there somewhere.
Is it A-E-R? No. Or A-R-E? Share? No H.
Stare?
T.
No T.
No T.
Glare? No L.
Well, no G.
Flare?
No L.
Again.
See, this is what I do, and then I just get stuck. What did you say the last one?
The cat meowing. I was trying to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cassie's like, you guys are dumb.
It's the time you screwed us all up.
The square is being thrown out there.
Oh, square.
Too many letters.
It's too many letters.
Yeah.
Come on, Paulie.
Square.
Hey.
Squire.
I think it's still too many letters. Here, just for shits and giggles, I guess we'll see if an S is even in it.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, we
R
got
and E in the right place.
E, but the A's in the wrong spot still. So like
Player, Jared,
No S.
Claire,
it's either A, R-E, attire? No. Or it's X-A-X-R-E.
Yeah.
I warned Peyton when we talked about this that it's my wife that's good at these types of games and not
Go
me.
get your wife. What are you doing?
You guys have the wrong guest today.
Tag her in.
My family has a text thread that is my mom, my dad, one of my brother-in-laws, my husband, and myself. And we play. I don't play. Everybody else plays, and they report their scores to each other every day. It's ridiculous. And like heckle each other.
Dude, we're all bad at this. We need help from
I don't know if that AXRE situation is correct.
No.
Adore is thrown out there.
Oh,
Serena.
Oh, we're getting closer, Serena.
uh-huh.
See,
But you were right.
what
That
the
A
heck?
is in the right spot.
AXXRE.
Yeah,
I
what
don't
goes
even know the
here?
fucking letters.
Aware?
We know
No.
what's there and what's
Aware?
You know what, Jess? That might be it because because we already know the A is not in that thing.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
A fire.
The double letter one.
Like it's on fire?
I feel
What
like
the hell
that's
is
2 words. We're taking help from Serena in the comments.
Better than we are.
She said adore. I mean, adore was good. We were stuck. But I feel like a fire is 2 words.
Adore.
I think it is one, or there is a word, a fire. It's our last chance, all right?
Yeah, I'm down to throw it.
go
We
with
can
it.
start a new puzzle.
Alert.
Allure.
Oh.
No, allure has 2 O's.
Azure.
Azure. What the fuck is
We were
Azure?
not.
It's a color.
That's
It's like the color blue
Yeah.
or purpley blue or something.
All right,
We were not gonna get
that should not even be a thing.
Yeah,
We
that
were
one.
not.
Yeah, there was no way I was getting that. I can tell you that much. So.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start with
Start with
Azure.
Azure.
No, start with first. First.
Don't,
Did you Google what the best word is to start with, Donnie? Is that what you did?
There.
Obviously not.
no,
But
Serena
that
told
was a
him.
lot of things
Serena
for
told
us.
him in the chat. So.
Thanks for eliminating everything, Donnie.
You're welcome. So do
just said
none of
Azure.
those letters.
Wait a minute. Did Serena guess that before it became the word?
I
I
don't know.
don't
It's up
think
there.
so. There's a delay between when she comments and we see it. So there's a chance she commented it before, but
Cool. Do it
I don't have enough
alone.
proof.
Alone.
Alone.
Just trying to get as many letters up there as fucking possible. We get 2 letters out of all of those.
How about? Oh, we already know the S and the T are not there.
Right.
How about bloat?
L there,
No
T
L.
there. No T,
No.
no L and no T.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
no T, right?
Yeah.
But this is why I'm bad at the game, because I will just put in letters, even though I know that they're not there.
How about bacon?
Oh, I like bacon.
Well, no end.
No end. Fuck.
Yeah, but everything
Play it
else
anyway.
is a new
We need to find some letters.
Yeah, everything else is a new letter.
Well, we got the A and the C in place.
Okay.
But the O is either the first or the last letter.
Yeah. I don't think it's the first.
Do your X's thing, Peyton.
Is
Okay.
wacko WACKO?
Wacko could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I
All right,
got
well, that's in
yo.
the last spot.
What in the hell? Facto? I feel like those idiots on Wheel of Fortune that are just yelling out random stupid shit.
Is it like
Serena?
X-Acto
Serena's
knife?
screaming into her speaker
No
right
teeth.
now with
I
him.
know, right?
Yeah. Serena's always speaking our high praises, but not in Wordle. Definitely not.
Cacao?
Cacao.
Oh, that just feels evil. CACAO.
But wouldn't it show both A's?
Wouldn't
If we
Yeah, how
had a
would it
word that
handle
had
two
two
Only if
A's,
you played it there. Oh,
Yeah.
it, might, I
Two
mean, it
C's
could
as
totally
well.
be. That would be. Oh
What
my
the-
god,
Oh, Jesus
that's so
Christ.
mean.
Wow.
Okay,
are we in for
so-
one more?
No, because Serena's just going to continue to make us look bad.
Oh, that's good stuff.
And our
Wow.
winner today is Serena.
Serena.
Thank you,
Playing.
Serena.
Peyton, did you like put that on extra level, hard level?
No, I just said, I just clicked in Wordle puzzles and it just gave me two of them and they
That
just
was
ended
like
up.
probably
And
like
the first
Wordle
one
for
had a
fifth grader.
Z in it,
It
and
had
the
a
second
Z.
one had two double letters. Like what?
And that's just our luck, guys. That's what that means. This is Robert Locke, your outsourced VP of Sales, providing owners of small to medium businesses a path to both growth and freedom, creating customized sales engines for B2B businesses to drive long-term, sustainable revenue and growth. Because each business comes with its own unique challenges and opportunities. And today, he gets the hot seat with the Success Champions team.
All right, this is gonna be fun. So we've gotten to know Robert a little bit in the network, and he's been hanging out for a good minute. He's the first guy to introduce me to the company Sales Acceleration, which has been a really cool find. I really wish it was around when I sold Sandler, because I think it would have been one hell of a compliment to what we did. But Robert, welcome to the show, brother. Please tell us a little bit more about you, and then tell us, how can we help you today?
Good morning, everyone. It's funny you say Sandler, Donnie, because I'm actually doing a seminar coming up in April with a Sandler rep here in Denver. So
That's awesome.
Michael Pape. So have always loved the Sandler methodology and tremendous foundational approach. So yeah, Robert Locke. I have been in sales for pretty much my entire career, which is coming up on 30 years. Primarily, originally selling, business development rep, and then grew that into leadership roles, ultimately up to VP of sales for a large manufacturer, nationwide manufacturer, and spent some time in operations, and I've done a number of different things in the manufacturing environment. So I like to tell the owners that I work with that I fix their broken sales machines. I spend a lot of time in manufacturing and distribution, and that's a message that resonates because they're used to broken machines often in plants. So yeah, so for me, I found Sales Acceleration about a year ago. Actually, I found them a couple of years ago and started up about a year ago, and have focused my practice primarily out of Denver, Colorado, but am growing nationwide. It's one of the big things I like about the Success Champion Network is it gives me that nationwide exposure. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what's the biggest thing we can do to help you grow your business today?
So as I was thinking about this, I've done a smaller hot seat as part of our chapter. It can be a little humbling to do the hot seat, but I was trying to think of a topic that, I don't know, maybe not just I was dealing with. And I've learned in this, I still call it my new life, but my solopreneur life, that resonating with an audience is really key. You were talking, Diane, when the speech you gave or the talk you gave last week about space in people's heads, and so that kind of got me thinking about how can I be more memorable and make my message resonate over even a longer period of time. I feel like I've done a really good job. You and I sit, have a coffee or virtual coffee, and we talk about what I do. You talk about what you do, and I remember that. I feel like my message gets through, but as time goes by, I'm losing traction. And so my thought is, how do I, not just in that initial meeting, I want to be memorable in that initial meeting, not for being terrible at that word game, but for what it is that I do. But how do I resonate and have them say 3 months from now, sitting in front of that owner and saying, I know a guy, I want to be that guy where they know a guy. So how do I get better at that?
Love it. I'm curious why you think you're not good at it right now.
Because I've noticed that one of the trends that I've noticed, and I'm a minor data nerd. One of the trends that I've noticed is I meet a whole lot of people, and I don't think I'm getting the referral percentage that I would expect, and again, I don't even have a number to base it on. It just sort of feels to me like more conversations especially in that intro conversation or virtual, with a referral partner, more of those conversations should turn into an actual, hey, I was talking to this owner, and I think you're perfect. I need more of that. We all need more of that, I know. But so to me, it feels like maybe I'm losing something somewhere along the way. They have someone hot right off the top of their head. They say, Robert seems like a good guy. Seems like he knows what he's doing. Maybe, here's an intro here or a referral here. But as time goes by, I feel like I'm losing that space in their head.
Love it. Love it. And I think a lot of people do. I think we all in some form or fashion suffer from this. And there's a lot of factors at play, but I think it'll be a fun conversation. I've got a whole system for this, but I really want to kick it over to you guys so I do not just freaking take over the whole damn show. So what do you guys do to stay top of mind?
How would that be different than any other show?
or any other meeting?
Hey, Bernie, you dropped something.
Well, my first question for you, Robert, is beyond the initial virtual coffee that you have with people, are you scheduling follow-ups? Are you staying in front of those people at regular intervals so they are thinking of you?
Yes, but it was a weak spot it was a gap in my coverage, as they say in football. So I think I had a sort of some almost immediate follow-up that was happening every time. Hey, thanks for meeting. Here's some reference material, this and that. I am trying to improve on my, I think the right term is drip or follow up or whatever, but over the course of I'm trying to implement some process there, and am implementing process there to get more of a chain of events rather than just the one event and one follow up.
Okay. And when you're meeting with people, are you kind of grading them at all? Like, this person is great. I met them. They're a really nice person. I don't think that we can help each other. Hey, there's some opportunity here potentially with some future conversations, or boom, this person is a referral partner. I need to talk to them more. Do you go through any type of grading process with people?
Yes. But again, until pretty recently, it was informal. It was almost like how it felt as opposed to any kind of a formal system in my CRM that I could then take and use as follow-up, if that makes sense.
Okay. As far as the feeling that you have with people, do you go as far as scheduling the next meeting with somebody? You're like, oh, damn. Like when you and I had a VC, if I was that person where you were like, oh, Bernie can probably send me some referrals. Are you proactively scheduling more time with them?
Not all the time. No.
Do it.
You can do it.
That's a great idea, Bernie.
Yeah.
Seriously. I like how you said that like you're feeling like it's a good vibe and you feel like you could even if like they could become a future customer or if they would be a good referral partner, just proactively be like, hey, let's set something up for 60 days from now just to check in, see how everybody's doing, see if we can help each other out, stuff like that.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say the people that do keep you top of mind, what what do they do to keep you top of mind? Like, I know I have my referral partners that they'll just email me and be like, hey, I have this lead. Can you tell me more info about it? And so staying in front of them constantly, making sure that you have those next intros for them as well, making sure you follow through. It's all in the follow-up, essentially, is what is the next step in the relationship? Okay. Kind of like your sales process. You never leave the sales process of not knowing what the next step is. Always know what the next step of that relationship and networking is.
So I think for me, oftentimes my focus, especially as I get to sort of, Bernie was talking about our call 2 weeks ago, is one of the things that trips me up with this is in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, where are the introductions that I can make for this person so that one, we can make this call or this meeting more beneficial to both of us. And I think sometimes I get kind of laser focused on that and not so much on wrapping up, like again, with going back to Sandler, it's like, hey, here's the meeting. Here's what we talked about. Here's what we're doing next. And I feel like it's more, I get buried in, okay, you mentioned that you need to speak with CFOs. So let me start racking my brain right now and see if I can get you 2 or 3, which I should be able to do both. I know, but.
Well, but what if instead of putting so much pressure on yourself to come up with somebody right away like that, and like in the middle of a meeting, you instead focus on like making sure that your story is exactly what you want it to be for those calls. I'm going to give Donnie props for something that's going to explode. But one of the smartest things that Donnie ever said to me was that a niche is not for you or for your ICP even. It's for other people to be able to refer you easily. And so like making yourself as referable as possible so that people do remember you. And that has to do with who you're being referred to sometimes, like who your niche is. So that's kind of where I'm going with that, is that, I was bitching about not wanting to find a niche. And Donnie was like, well, it makes it harder for people to refer people to you if they don't know exactly who they're supposed to be referring to you.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time early on because, the work that I do can help any business.
Yep.
As
I get it.
Probably everything everybody does. And so that has helped. And where I've seen that help maybe the most is it's put me in places now that I've got partners that are really, really good, my top tier partners. And because of the niche, not only do they know what I do or where I do it, but we're seeing each other often in and around the market, if that makes sense. We're in the same meetings often. So
yeah, that's great. I mean, I like Jess also keep a list of my connectors, like my top connectors. And Donnie's also on that list too. Anyway, but like I keep a written list. I do every 6 months. I revise the list. And if there's somebody who has been sending me a lot of leads, or somebody who I think should be sending me more leads, something like that, I'll put those on the list. So I do revise those every 6 months and keep them written down. I don't necessarily keep them in front of me all the time, but I'm a believer in writing things down.
So one of the moves I like to make as well when we're on VCs is go for the unexpected. They'll always have, hey, I want to meet with CFOs. Mm-hmm. But if you listen to the story and you listen to the connections, like Ashley, I know she's in the automotive space. So anyone that says automotive, I'm automatically going to be connecting her. So sometimes it's not looking at their ask, but looking at their story.
Wait, looking at their ass. Ask. Got it.
Couldn't hold that one in, could you, Donnie?
No. I was over here like good, quiet, not saying a lot. Let you guys go.
You even let Bernie start off today.
But looking at their story and pulling out keywords in their story to figure out who fits within their story and can get them to that next conversation.
Yep. I love that.
I think you have to look at your entire network, and you have to do a couple of things. One, you have to rank your network, as Bernie was talking about before, right? You got to put them to a system. I teach a 4-rank system. I won't go through it all now, but after you rank them, you got to figure out, okay, to Ashley's point, who's my starting lineup? So I will typically put people in different industries as the one industry is going to have my starting lineup. Like my bookkeeper is going to get the referral system, get the referrals. That's the person owns that, piece in the starting lineup. Once you have that defined, then you got to think about follow up and being top of mind more than just, how do I stay in touch with them? It's got to be a complete package. So one of the things you got to think about is what am I doing to be in thought leadership to stay top of mind? What am I teaching the world that helps them bring my name up? Like with anybody thinks about networking, I want Donnie Bovine's name to be top of the mind for everybody in the damn world, right? So what do I have to teach to own that particular space? Secondly, now you got to figure out what's my follow-up system, in regards to staying in touch with them. That's your drip system, as you talked about, or Jess mentioned, keep the crazy things to keep people top of mind. Where do you associate? What's the thing that you get pinned for? So,
grow a big handlebar mustache.
Yes, 100%.
Always works.
Yep.
Yep.
And put it to an entire process, not just let it go to the wind. What most people do is what I did for a lot of my career is you meet, you network. Cool, met that person, on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one. I had to put an entire system to it so that I could be effective at it. But to nowadays, because I know so many people, I'm letting an attempt at thought leadership be the biggest thing that helps me stay top of mind.
Yeah, so LinkedIn is
Yep.
a good place to build a personal brand and make people think of you for a thing. So as much as you can, just create personal thing. I'm always about, talk about your business, but also talk about personal, because it's the personal things that people remember. And so when we're talking about referrals and referring people, it's going to be the fact that Donnie has baby goats that makes people remember he's a networking guy, stuff like that.
Yeah. So Robin, I'm curious, what are some things that you do as a hobby outside of business? Because I honestly don't know.
I play a lot of hockey, ski,
how much
exercise, fitness.
I'm curious, how many of your clients do you think ski or play hockey?
Well, here a whole lot of them ski, and certainly.
You live in Denver, the land of no fat people, like the healthy.
No fat. I need to move there.
No, it's certainly ski, yeah. And there's definitely hockey players out there. There's a couple of LinkedIn groups in particular that I see. Haven't been able to crack that code yet, hockey wise, but the hockey community here is growing. So
I was gonna say that's a smaller community, so it's probably an easier one to be a niche part of. But.
Yeah, so something to kind of put in perspective. When I think of Liam, I think of hot sauce. When I think of Melissa Cohen, I think about clothes and dressing. When I think of Ash, I think of yoga, right? So because they've put their other stuff out there, they're a lot more rememberable for what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I run across anybody with a crazy mustache, they're going to get introduced to Bernie. And usually the introduction is just two funny mustaches go talk, right?
I've literally gotten that message.
Yeah. Right. So by bringing up, I commented on Melissa Cohen's post this morning. I said one of the easiest ways to find content to go comment on is you go to the search bar, you type in whatever you geek out on, click on post. And so I'll do this all the time. I'll type Harry Potter in the freaking search bar and go find content where people are talking about Harry Potter. Right?
I do the same thing. I do yoga.
Yeah. Right. And I guarantee if you did hockey, there'd be a ton of hockey stuff that would pop up. So when we associate with the things that we geek out on, we become memorable, not for just what we do, Like, I know what Ash does. I know what Melissa does. I know what Liam does, right? I know their businesses, but they stay top of mind because of the silly things that they actually geek out on or passionate on. Because when you do talk about those things, you show up more because you're actually geeking out. When I think of Woody, I think of nothing. Poor Woody.
I think of all kinds of things.
Oh, I don't think anything good when I think of Woody Fish. I mean, let me start there.
Come on. He's a good football coach. At least you know he was a good football coach.
Oh, dude, not only the good football coach, just a hell of a dude. Just a good guy.
But it makes you easier to connect to people too, Robert. So like if Donnie talks to, I guarantee if Donnie happened to run into another human being who did yoga, he would be like, oh, you should know my friend Ashley.
100%.
You know what I mean? And so that doesn't necessarily mean that I would do business with them. But the reason that the search bar thing is because I know that I'm a lot more likely to find something in common and some common ground to talk about with someone who has talked about yoga on LinkedIn than I am with another group of people. And so it makes it easier to connect with those people. But to Donnie's point, it makes you easier to refer to.
Especially when it's a broad topic like that. Like I've tried to do goats, and there's just not many people that post about goats on LinkedIn. Can't imagine why. But when it's a broad thing, like something like hockey, like somebody challenged me one time. They're like, poker's my biggest thing. I'm like, go in there and type in poker. They're like, nobody's talking about. Like, bullshit, watch this. And literally go type in, poker, and tons of posts pop up.
No, there's literally hockey groups on LinkedIn. Robert was right. I mean, like there's hockey players in business.
Yep.
Hockey group, business and pleasure. I mean, there's plenty. There's plenty.
And same thing, what I try and do with some of the stuff is how does what I do as a business, how can I cross over the two? So, what have I learned about going to a Ren fair that I can apply to networking or business? So in your case, what have you done? How do you correlate hockey to, running a sales team? How do you correlate skiing to running a sales team? Those type of things. What are the things that, and the more you can hammer it home, the more you become rememberable for that damn thing. And I tell you, the reason I remember Ash doing yoga wasn't because of her yoga. It was her doing yoga with her kid. That was the thing that finally solidified it in my head. That's got her forever associated with it there. It's Liam actually doing like a hot sauce, review. Yeah. It's those type of things that makes it stick because it's over and over again. So for me, when I thought about how I kept them top of mind, this is one of the reasons I did Baby Goat Sunday. Was it was unique, different, but it gave me a chance to constantly bring it up on a regular basis, to the point where now it says Baby Goat Dad in my freaking title, because it's a thing that allows me to become rememberable.
Well, but also you have a personal brandy situation going already because you have the machine thing. So I mean, leaning into that a little bit and playing to that some too with some of your LinkedIn content, maybe it helps you like put that niche out there more and tell the story about who you help and where it fits.
It's funny you said, because I tried, one of the cool things about being a solo is you get to experiment and change pretty quickly. And I probably shouldn't say this live on air, but that's always followed up immediately by the thing you shouldn't say. So I was playing with some with some AI tools or whatever, and I had it create a post and a picture based off that sales machine. I didn't love it, but I was like, all right, let's give this a whirl, see what happens. And literally 8 seconds later, John Hoffman, good friend John Hoffman, posts not on mine, but in his own feed. Has anybody noticed how much AI posting is going on right now? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, ouch. It hurt.
Well, he was I'm sure he was aiming that straight at you, but he didn't want to hurt your feelings, so he posted on somebody else's stuff.
Exactly. So I need a better, again, the good thing about being a solo is you get to adapt and change quickly. The bad thing is, my marketing department is me and my AI assistant. So I need a budget. So
What I like about that concept is go to AI, type in sales machine and what it is, and write a post for it. Like, give it a. I'll do it all the time. I'm like, this is what I'm thinking through,
Yeah,
but
same.
turn it into something that I can do with it, and it'll give me acronyms. It'll give me all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Then I'm like, all right, there's my idea. I can go right to that thing, and go, okay, here's the acronym or whatever, and it's fantastic at coming up with some amazing acronyms.
Yeah, you'd be really shocked. Rather than just taking the post straight out of it, if you just dump your thoughts a little bit and then ask it for some ideas and then write your own stuff, it just helps you. It helps with that marketing department, like it can give you a couple of ideas that you can then take away on your own instead of just straight from it.
Like AI's gotten so bad on LinkedIn. Like this morning, I typed in B2B networking in the search bar looking for content, and there was 20 posts that started off with the power of networking. You're like, all right, guys, look at what the hell other people are doing, and obviously, and the rocket ship's a dead giveaway anymore. Like if their post starts off with a rocket ship emoji hit the back end, they wrote that almost 100% with freaking AI. But it's really good at helping you think through things.
Now, I have noticed, and again, small sample size, but I've noticed that the posts that I do and Peyton, the stuff he grabbed for this, he grabbed pictures of me, not my, I sort of do the basic, what I think of as more the basic business post. Hey, 5 things you have to do if you need this, that, and the other thing. And I want that out there. It's good stuff to be out there, but the posts that do the best for me are, some kind of selfie. He picked the one in the hotel room, which was to me, I don't know if it's sad or good that I can remember good posts, but that one did great. It was just this stupid picture of me in a hotel setting up a standing desk in with couch cushions and stuff. And,
yep.
Yeah. And I'm not, part of my problem, I know we're not talking about Locke's marketing today, but I just don't have the content like to keep that up. That's very difficult for me to.
Oh, but you do. So couple of things. Adriana Tika, who I think is one of the best newsletters on the planet, and I get no payments, no anything for saying that. I just love her newsletter, taught me this. There's 2 types of content. There's how I, and then there's how to. How I is kind of like your day in the life stuff. It's how you've learned things. What are you going through? The experiences, a hotel, all that kind of stuff that you come through. How to is the things you've learned. Like, so it's you teaching the 5 steps, your sales machine, those type of things out there. It should be like an 80-20 mix. 80% of it should be how I, the 20% should be the how to. The how I build your following, the how to build your client base. And I've always loved that she's put it down into that simple formula for me to follow. The easiest way to come up with a ton of content is to literally just make a list of every moment in time where something was amazing happened or something failed, right? Just make a master list of every time something great happened or when something bad happened. It can be business, outside of business, doesn't matter. Then next to each one of those, write down, what did you learn? And then all those things you learned, those all become posts on social media. And it's a cool way to come up with a lot of things. The second thing you should be doing is keeping a notepad beside you. And every time you get an aha, every time you get an inspiration, every time you hear a quote on TV, a music, song, whatever, those all become little things you keep in your notepad, and those all become content. So Elizabeth caught me a time or two where we were watching a movie and I heard a really good phrase. I'm like, oh shit. And I write that down. And the next day I start the post off with that phrase. And then the rest of the post is me writing my thoughts to it. And she's like, wait, we heard that last night in the movie. I'm like, right. It was really damn good. But we have, dude, I sit here all day long, doing Zooms. So I don't have a whole lot of experiences to write about. But things are happening all the time if we just take 2 seconds and write them down, and then those become the cool moments.
Yep. I'm going to shift the conversation a little bit and bring it back to SEN, because you do sit on leadership of your Colorado group. And I would say when you are on leadership, you have a different opportunity than being just a member. When you bring someone into SEN, you are sitting in front of them 52 times a week in a leadership position, in an authority position. So if you have these top networkers, what are we doing to bring them in to, even if it's not SEN, what are we doing to bring them in front of you at least once a week to show your thought leadership? And it kind of goes back to the LinkedIn, but doing it in the SEN room, now you're talking with them. And then if you can get into a real room with them, doing once a month happy hour, now you get that handshake and hug, and it kind of solidifies the relationship even more.
Yeah, I would tell you one of the smartest moves anybody can do is to get their starting lineup in their chapter. And the reason being is the best way to stay top of mind is to see them that 52 weeks a year. You know, most people don't make that second push thinking, oh, they gave me a referral. Man, what happens if they're a part of my group and now I get to see them every week? What's the pace of referrals that could potentially come from that? You know, and it's just kicking that up a notch.
And I'm not saying that to be selfish. It was something.
I am.
I know you are, but I was president for a whole year. And that was something that I didn't realize would happen, was that people would look at me as an authority since I am helping run this meeting, or I am running this meeting. It was kind of like a byproduct of networking. When you're in a leadership position, it definitely takes networking to a different level.
Visit other groups too.
Yep.
Visit other SDN groups. I love to have new people at the meetings, new people I can like share referrals with, share leads for.
Yeah. And one of the other greatest ways, and it's the most fantastic way in the world to stay top of mind, is literally just send somebody an introduction. So if you haven't talked to somebody in a while and you're like, man, I should really follow up with that person, sit down and think about, okay, who do they sell to? Who else sells to that person? Who can I introduce them to? Or, you know, if it's like, you know, Ashley, and I haven't talked to her for 6 months, who else have I run into that does yoga that I can just send her way? Because making that introduction is just a cool way of saying, hey, I was thinking about you. Now, when you reach out and go, hey, let's grab a VC and catch up, it's not like somebody just reached out to me recently and said, hey, Donnie, it's been a couple years, would love to catch up. And it just came across like they wanted to sell me something, so I didn't accept it. Had they, you know, first said, hey, Donnie, I've got a couple people I'd love to introduce you to. Let me introduce you to these couple of folks. And then, hey, it would be awesome if we could catch up sometimes. Now, even if it was a sales call, I'm more likely to take that meeting to catch up with somebody because they did something first. So think back through all the virtual coffees you've done, right? And the ones you were like, man, I wish that person would keep me more top of mind. And then think through, cool, how do I send them an introduction to somebody?
One of my favorite moves as well is doing it for your clients. Like get the sell, get the close first. But then once you're in the relationship with them, I was at a happy hour the other night, and I started talking about my expect tax return client. And a guy there was like, I need an introduction to an expect tax return. Well, when you're working with a client, you don't normally think of, hey, let's get them more business by referrals. So it's just another way to stay top of mind in your clients, especially if they've gone quiet for a small time, a period.
I like that.
Yeah, I needed to even add that into my repertoire. But you know, it's not easy to always stay top of mind, but you know, the more that you focus on it, the better it is. Thought leadership is still one of the greatest tools out there to keep a massive amount of people, you know, your name in front of a lot of people. It's pretty crazy what happens now if I don't post something on Baby Goat Sunday and the messages and the DMs I get, right? You would just get associated with that thing, and it works really well. What's going through your head now, Robert, that we've heard a lot of this stuff?
I'm scratching down some notes about how do I've never posted one thing on LinkedIn about hockey. I can tell you that much. Partly because I've been sort of afraid to. I was on a call with actually a client. Well, he's a prospective client still, but soon to be client. And the reference he made to LinkedIn was that it's Facebook for work. And I said, no, I said, you're missing the point. So even I knew that. But I guess the point to that is I've always been trying to be careful about what goes up
that
there,
should be
right?
your post today or tomorrow.
I was going to say, I'm already starting to write a post for myself with that one.
And the point I was trying to make to him is your reps need to be utilizing LinkedIn to find their next client, right? And for whatever reason, and I was like this too, it took me to get to LinkedIn in the old days was a way to find a job. That's about what it was. But there's so many uses for it, even as a corporate employee, a salesperson for a corporate entity, that they just don't understand. But anyway, I guess the point of all this is that how can I utilize that platform? Because that's basically where I exist. I don't exist anywhere else from a thought leadership or a presence standpoint. So how can I utilize LinkedIn to kind of pull in the good things about being a hockey player, especially, I don't remember learning how to skate. I was like 2 years old. So I've been doing it a long time. I know I should be better. I get it. But the how can I take those concepts, the toughness, the grit, the perseverance, in some ways nastiness, and turn that into content that's relevant to a team? Because a lot of times where salespeople fail is lack of grit, lack of follow through, lack of doing the nitty gritty, right? So those are all things that are circling around now. How can I utilize that, pull in hockey as maybe the theme? So
we should.
I like that a lot.
Help you.
Yeah.
What's that, sorry?
I will help you. This is like what I do all the time. And so I would be happy to have a chat with you and help you even just like line out 5 pieces of content that you could, you just in that like 60 seconds, I heard you say like 8 things that could become separate pieces of content. Like no problem. It would be super, super easy. And I can teach you how to like very easily just use ChatGPT to help you get that stuff without making it a post that you're copying and pasting and feeling like you're, ripping stuff off, to help you generate the content. That's good stuff. What you're saying, that's what people, and you explained it to him just right. That's where he's missing the boat. Yes, the 2008 LinkedIn was not prepared for all the stuff that LinkedIn is today. But today, people want to know people. And so the people that are sitting back there saying that it's Facebook for work, like, yeah, maybe it is, because people enjoy that shit more. And they don't enjoy the, like bros showing off their President's Club awards all the time. And that's not what people are here for. And they don't learn anything about that. If that's what you're doing, if that's how you're showing up on LinkedIn, they're not learning anything personal about you. And people buy from people. And so you nailed it with salespeople needing to be on. I sat in an AE seat for 17 years and I did not use LinkedIn like I should have. And then when I learned the power of LinkedIn, I was like, oh my God, I've been missing out so much on things that I could have been doing with LinkedIn. And so, I'm totally on a mission to help corporate AEs figure it out too, because it's hard to do a personal brand with corporate brand behind you. But it's something that they have to figure out.
Yeah, I wish to be honest, I guess everybody can say this to some extent, but I wish I knew then what I knew now, because I would have done it differently. So.
Anybody else go back to their old LinkedIn stuff and just cringe?
Oh, it's so bad.
Some of the posts, some of the things I did were so salesy, and obviously all I wanted to do was try and sell my crap to somebody versus anything on a level of what I'm doing now. Every once in a while, somebody's like, DMs will pop up and you'll see like an old message you sent like 6 years ago, and you're like, I cannot believe I pitch slapped the hell out of somebody so bad.
True.
So bad.
Robert, you said at the beginning, one of the things you said was that you just can't produce that much content. Like you don't have the time, don't have the capabilities to do it. But if you sit down, like if you and I had a 30-minute conversation and talk about some of those things that you had and I am not good at planning my content, because it just comes really fast to me. So for somebody like you to plan your content, to know to pre-write your posts on Monday afternoons so that you have one for Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday or something like that, that would be really helpful for you just to lay out that content and get it done early and get it done ahead of time to make sure it's there.
Yeah, there are weeks where I'm good at that and weeks where I'm not good at that, and it
Yeah.
just
I
it
get
is
it.
what it is. One of the things I do like though is now that I've got some content rolling out there, if I miss a week, it doesn't. I shouldn't miss a week, I know, but if I do, people are still seeing things from me, which makes me
I
feel
wish they
good.
would remove the date posted on all post. If they would remove date posted, I think we'd find a lot more cool content.
Well,
Rob,
and don't repurpose your content, Robert, if you need to. I mean, like if you have a week that you just haven't gotten to anything, scroll back to one of your older posts that did well if it's something that you could repurpose and just
reuse
rewrite
it. Yep. Robert, do you ever do any workshops or anything?
You mean put them on myself?
Yeah.
I've done a couple small ones, and I have a in-person one coming up.
Did you happen to record those?
No, but we're going to record the next one.
Record the next one. Then take that over to ChatGPT, say, transcribe this and help me figure out how do I turn these key points into post.
and make them into clips.
Yeah, all kinds. So like every workshop that I do, I literally record it. And then I have a guy that goes and then he just chops it up into a ton of clips for me. So I have a ton of things for reels or whatever else to put out there. And it makes it really easy to come up with things. And you can go find somebody on Upwork, for dirt cheap to take these longer clips and turn them into smaller clips.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have time, there's plenty of programs like Opus Clip, Descript, and all these others that will chop it up for you as well. So, all right. Well, we've covered a crap ton of things, Robert. What's kind of some of the big key takeaways from all of this?
The big key takeaways: 1, follow my own advice. Build a process. Follow the.
We
process.
all should do that. Follow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the first one. And then I think this, the second big one is some of this, keep integrating, life lessons with LinkedIn content and try to find a good way to merge those two things to make myself a little bit more personable on the network and therefore memorable.
And the geekier, the better, I've found. Mm-hmm. Like when I talk about, I play games, the number of people that will send me DMs, they're not saying out loud, but like, I'm a gamer too. They're like saying it on the sly. It's just funny. So the geekier, the better. So awesome. Well, brother, thanks for hanging out with us. Really, really appreciate it. Let's talk about upcoming events. What do you guys have coming? What are you teaching, doing? Peyton, I sent you an email with a funny pic. Put that up when you get a check. What do you got? Upcoming events.
I got nothing right now. I got my big gala coming up here for the board that I'm the executive director for is this weekend. So once it's over, then I will have more things to talk about because the gala will be behind us.
Nice. And what's the gala? What is it?
It is called Denim and Diamonds. It is for the Pike Township Educational Foundation.
Nice.
We raise scholarships and teacher grants and stuff like that. So.
Nice. Thanks, B. I went to Canva really quick and made a Wordle champion for Serena. There you go.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Because obviously we suck. So
originally I read it and I said world champion because I flipped the words around. You had to say Wordle.
Nice.
I thought we were starting the game again. I was having flashbacks. I wasn't.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have any events this week except for one, becoming a champion this week, Thursday.
Oh, yeah. So if you want to ruin an hour of your time, if you're in SEN and you want to figure out how to get better on Zoom, make your appearance look better so you don't have a boring background, Robert, or anything like that, come hang out with Bernie on Thursday at 10 Central. That'll be awesome. I've got how AI is enhancing lead gen coming up on this Friday. So it went so well inside of SEN. I decided to take this workshop and out to the public, so you can find that on LinkedIn. But I'm going to break down a ton of cool AI stuff that will really kind of blow your mind of what you can do with it. With lead gen marketing and all the different things. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then, of course, Jess, you got anything coming up?
March 19th. Thank you for all the messages, everyone, that you guys sent me when I had to postpone this and make sure I was safe from the Texas weather. I just lost internet, but I had to postpone it to March 19th at 10 o'clock. Fixing your business bottleneck. So join us.
Nice. Ashley had to run to sales training she's got coming up. I won't put the rest of the message up there, what she said, reason she had to go, but she had to run though. And then for us, of course, we got the Badass Business Summit coming up September 17th through the 19th. Some really cool announcements coming up soon with that. And we're having some really, really cool discussions. So that will be a lot of fun. So thanks for hanging out with us all. Phenomenal times. Robert, thanks again for jumping in the hot seat. And please tell other people it's not that bad. So
it was awesome. It's always a great learning experience. So thank you.
Absolutely, brother. Guys, we do this every Monday, 8 a.m. Central. Come hang out. Come start your week off. Until next week. Love you, mean it. See you. Bye.